As they march through the jungle in battalions several thousand strong, they supposedly kill all in their path.
Began to circle the area around the jelly cup, trying to gauge how they were going to have a taste of the jelly.
If you didn't already know, insects are pure savages.
So termites start to isolate her from the fighting by building a wall of mud mixed with saliva that will harden like concrete.
You don't believe me? Check out these clips. I am sure they will change your mind. Let's get started. Number 1, honey ant scouts rivalry. Believe it or not, nature is insane, and this honeypot ant colony is the perfect example. Why? As you can guess from their names, they have a taste for honey, but getting it is a struggle that only the worker ants know. That's why, to get the honey, they would even kill their own.
This is how most clashes between honey ant colonies are played out.
While the workers go out on a wild hunt, a few stay back dangling in the mounds underground. Inside, these insects feed on the nectar, and their tiny stomachs swell up to the size of a grape. It is basically a survival pack for when things go haywire.
Suspending themselves allows the air to circulate around them, maybe preventing a fungi attack.
But sometimes, the rival colonies run short on honey, and that's when the drama begins. The two colonies start a battle, one to defend their honey, and the other desperate to get a small sip. But things go rotten midway. From larva to food,
Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week.
everything becomes free loot after the rival ants raid the colony. In the fierce battle, even the queen doesn't stand a chance, and she becomes a meal for the local. In the end, one colony takes the crown, the honey, and the bragging rights. Number 2, the terror of Redwood ants. These ants spray acid, and that seems like a dominating way to win the battle. But is it? This colony hosts the Redwood ants, and you do not want to see them pitching tents outside your house, because boy are they territorial.
But all this physical effort has a dual purpose.
These guys do not even like their own forming a mound beside them. They surely won't forgive anyone else. I don't blame them though. Each colony has several thousand worker ants and 100 queens. Surely they need to put their all in for the sake of survival. Here's how it goes down. To fight for the territory,
these creatures will in fact take hundreds of power naps every single day.
The worker ants go out and scour the land. If they find anyone lurking outside, the whole army is called out. Colonies of their own are no exception. The battle starts and it gets pretty dirty. Some scouts take the vantage point, while others go out and hunt their rivals. It takes 7 ants to subdue one single ant from the other army.
Is always facing in the general south direction and is often situated in wood clear. This is because of one reason only, the sun. As I said, the mound has many more functions than just shelter.
This is why the bigger colony usually takes the win. The messy thing is that these wars can go on for weeks, and the massacre is absolutely horrifying. Most of the insects left dead are eaten from the inside out. There is literally nothing left, except for the smell of the chemicals shooting out of these ants and the taste of victory. Number 3, the secret of fire ants. Under a calm-looking mound sits a terrifying colony of fire. Trust me, you're better off not knowing about. The fire ants do not like anyone invading their lands, not even human. Despite the fact that humans probably look like giants to them,
it's the start of ant nuptial flight season again in North America and the Northern Hemisphere.
They will make you regret it. These tiny ants will crawl onto your body, clamp onto your skin with their sharp teeth, and then use their powerful sting. The nasty venom will leave you itching and wailing for hours. But they aren't just scary on land, they are 10 times more terrifying in the water. No, these ants can't swim, but they sure can build an amazing raft. When the water seeps into the colony, the ants do not go into a state of frenzy. They team up and pull off the most insane rescue mission.
Fire ant venom is highly unusual in the ant world. It's not just an efficient killer of other insects. Queens apply it to their eggs to kill bacteria and fungus from the surrounding soil.
The larvae go to the bottom to form a floating tube, and the adults hold on to each other at the top. It takes 2 minutes to assemble this raft, and they can stay up there for 2 weeks. What's scary is that this floating colony of ants is extra defensive while they are in the water. They will use twice the venom if anyone dares to disturb their peace. When they find a suitable land, they will go back to building a new colony and the usual attacks on unlucky prey. Boy, they will eat anything, be it bird babies or other insects. They are not getting out of their ambush a lot. Number 4, black carpenter ants. Now you'll be peeking into the strangest colony of ants where the attacks happen inside the family. The black carpenter ants are large black ants that are usually found in dead or decaying trees, but you have no idea what's going on inside. These insects are usually timid, but you won't recognize them when the mating season drops.
And there's the queen. You can see all the soldier ants
and the other members of the ant colony in there, and that queen is really...
But they turn into savages. The queen releases a scent that brings the winged male to the center of the colony. What he didn't realize was how much he would have to gamble. The army of ants swarm them, thinking he is food.
They try to clip his wings so he'll fit through the nest entrance.
They take away his wings too because apparently everything has nutritional value. The ants take what they can from the male and then escort him to the queen. After the mating is done, the male falls and becomes a lavish meal for the workers. Number 5, the weaver ants. Next up we have the weaver ants. These green ants are a bit different from other ants. They like to stay above the ground, but that doesn't mean they are any less aggressive.
These leaf basket nests become weatherproof, being able to withstand typhoons, as well as the scorching heat of the sun.
No, these guys will rip you apart if you step anywhere near their colony. It doesn't matter if the intruder is a scorpion, a paper wasp, or a grasshopper that is the size of a hand. They will swarm the criminal, and the mighty ruthless troops will skin them alive. About 500,000 weaver ants are found perched high up in a single colony. With that many in number, the only question is survival. The answer to that...
Then multiple chains of up to 12 workers bridge the gaps between the leaves. Powerful mandibles and strong tarsal claws haul the leaves together.
...is to build a nest in the tree. But how does it work? A large group holds the 2 leaves, while the others bring out their larvae to glue the leaves together. So, after going through all this trouble, do you really think they would let anyone inside their fort? I think not. So, if they do find a lurker, the ants go all in. They swarm the enemy and clamp onto its body. They shoot the chemical out of their abdomens and aren't shy of using their sharp teeth. Once the army attack, the enemy knows that there is no way out except to meet death. Number 6, the terrifying army ant. These are the army ants, and they will quite literally eat anything. It just needs to be moving. Confused? Let me break it down for you. The army ants do not like to stay underground. They are always on the move.
Within seconds, the prey is pinned down. Within minutes, it's torn apart at its joints.
When the patrolling squad finds a good meal nearby, they give the call, and the whole colony comes rushing in to get a taste. But here's the scary bit. They do not just stick to the feast. They will eat anything and everything that comes in their way. If an insect is caught in the middle of their marathon, they will be swarmed by the monsters in seconds, from scorpions and grasshoppers to beetles that are 6 times the size of an ant.
Each of these rampages lasts for about 17 days. Some say that army ants have a collective intelligence. Army ants kill and eat up to 100,000 animals in a day.
Nobody is shown any mercy. Heck, a snake could be crawling in front of them, and even that poor reptile would get overwhelmed by these tiny ants. What they do is that they release a chemical that dissolves the insides of the prey, turning them into mud. Then, the whole army feasts on them. Some of the prey get out of there alive, while others are not so lucky. Considering that these ants can kill 30,000 times a day, I doubt the list of survivors is long. Number 7, the yellow crazy ants. These ants are not even half an inch long, but the way they swarm over prey, you'd want to call 911. The yellow crazy ants are so named because of their erratic walking style, but I think they should be called crazy for the way they attack.
Let me spray this little piece of carefully crafted nature with some water, moisten the lands in preparation for the ants soon. I truly love the dimension and shape of this living bioactive space.
Because even a giant armored crab doesn't stand a chance against this colony of ants. That's right, when the unlucky prey comes near them, the yellow ants overwhelm the intruder. Their teeth aren't sharp enough to pierce into the crab's shell. So here's what they do instead. They find a gap in the crab's joints through their knife-like blades and start eating the joint muscle. A few of them move inside and start to make way for the other ants through the crab's mouth.
They slice away the soft tissue, and as the joint is ripped, tear widen.
The poor guy tries to fend after its wounds, but it is of no use. The crab eventually falls down and becomes a free meal for the ants. This wasn't a random attack though. These ants can gobble up spiders, frogs, nestling birds, and even lizards. Told you they are crazy. Number 8, the insane driver. Ants. If you want to take a look at the most formidable ants, I'd call the driver ants. It is not that these guys will attack whoever comes near their colony. It is more about how many diverse species they are willing to kill. These ants are probably the only ants that like to take it up with a large number of animals. If they are winning, what's the harm, right? Because they are surely dominating.
And take out a mighty soldier simply by grabbing its sensitive antenna and hanging on tight.
Take a look at this slug. This guy was peacefully sitting on a leaf when a giant army of ants entered the scene. The slug was smart. It fell off the leaf to escape the ant. But what he didn't know was that he was falling straight into the trap, the colony of driver ants. Next thing you know, the whole colony is pouncing at the slug to take a bite. The prey tried to pull off one last trick, trapping the ants using the slime covering its body. That managed to hold off the ants, but only for a little while.
So termites start to isolate her from the fighting by building a wall of mud mixed with saliva that will harden like concrete.
The smart monsters retreated, brought back soil, and used it to cover up the slime. That was it. In the next few seconds, the ants devoured the slug and ate it up whole. That's just one victim, but they all suffer the same fate. Number 9, the humbling Acacia ant. These ants only have one friend, and that's the Acacia trees. The trees give them a place to stay, and the ants defend the trees against the herbivore. It is the perfect relationship. You see, this tree is a gold mine for the herbivores. It has the kinds of nutrients that these animals would travel long to feast on.
The ants don't stop there. This relatively huge grasshopper may think it's going to take a few bites out of the non-poisonous acacia.
They are often attracted to go and munch on its leaves, but here's what they don't know. The tree has modified its thorns to house the ants. There are hundreds of colonies on a single tree that do not like to be disturbed. So, when the animals come marching over to the acacia tree, they don't care if it is the tallest animal on land or the heaviest. They will simply not let them eat in peace. The elephants often become their victim. The ants find a way into the elephant's trunk and turn it into a raging hell inside.
The sound of the breeze blowing across these holes is what gives the whistling acacia its name.
The ants use their sharp teeth to leave some nasty wounds in the trunk. If that's not bad enough, they then employ their stingers that make the elephants go berserk with pain. The giants slash their trunks, which forces some of the ant houses to fall and crack. But the damage was already done, and the elephant leaves with an itching trunk. Number 10, the large bull ants. Australia is home to many creepy animals, and the bull ants are one of them. These ants have huge eyes that allow them to see, navigate, and walk long distances in the hunt for food. They spread out far on the land to find prey.
It took hours for that pain and that burning to go away.
Bull ants earned their name because of their aggression and determination during an attack.
Once they do, the ants use their strong mandibles to cling onto the prey's body. The poor animal tries to get away, but the ants pull out the stingers, and that's it for the prey. You think that's scary? Hear this out. They sometimes go after other ants. Yes, they have a pretty strong rivalry with the Carpenter ants. You'll often spot them trying to battle it out with them, wrestling for the winning title. Sometimes they win, and sometimes they become prey to the Carpenter ants. But other times, the dark side of the ants pops out, and they become vile. Using their heightened vision, they stand close to the ants' colony. Then, they pick up scraps and debris to block the entrance of the mound. The black ants try to get out, but their efforts go down the drain. They end up getting trapped and later starved to death. It is quite the plot twist. Number 11, the scary bullet ants. The bullet ants stick true to their name. Their stings sure do hurt like a bullet. Ask this guy. He is wearing gloves filled with bullet ants. He was out on this suicidal mission because it is a tradition in the tribe.
Jeez, with a couple of deep breaths though, I felt like I'd be back to normal in no time.
Can I get you a Panadol?
They check your bravery by putting you through this horrifying bullet ant test. While he acted out of will, that choice is not reserved for the bullet ant's prey. The ants use their stinger to release toxins into the prey's body. Once that venom hits, the pain is unbearable, even for humans.
Despite the seemingly cutthroat social system of these Diachema ants, they are highly loyal and strongly bonded to each other.
But that's not where the tormenting ends. The scent of the poison invites the whole crowd to the feast. They all come rushing in to enjoy a few bites of the meal, leaving nothing behind. Number 12, the horrifying Slavemaker ants. This colony of ants is as vile as it can get. Their mouths are not made to grab and chew food, so they go out on a hunt to kidnap ants from other colonies. One group of kidnapper ants was spotted making their way to another nest.
They know exactly what they're after. The most prized possession ants have. They're young. Those white things are pupae, the developing juveniles.
The black ants got all panicked when they saw the large troops coming. They tried to hide their babies, but it was of no use. The kidnapper ants were simply too many. Soon enough, they raided the nest, grabbed the larvae, and bolted out of there. The black ants could do nothing but look back helplessly,
allowing them to seize the unsuspecting ants and carry them back to their colony.
The creepy part is that these black ant babies grow up thinking they are part of the family. The kidnapper ants smother the scent of their colony on the larvae. This simple trick fools them into working as slaves for the kidnapper ants for the rest of their lives. Number 13, the incredible leafcutter ants. The leafcutter ants are often found high up in the tree, looking for leaves to slice. Using their sharp mandibles, the ants cut parts of the leaves and take them back to their colony. They do not go out on this bizarre hunt for food. No, the ants create a special compost out of the leaves and their poop.
A different class of ant clean the leaves, crush them, and arrange them carefully. Afterwards, they spread spores around like seeds and let a fungus grow.
Eventually, a fungus grows that has extremely high nutritional value, but in the hunt for food, they are often ambushed by the army ants. Sometimes the leafcutter ants manage to scurry out of there, but other times they are brutally attacked. This horrid war often ends with the army ants being the winner. A few of the leafcutter ants scramble away in panic, but not all of them are that lucky. Number 14, the bizarre trapjaw ants. The trapjaw ants are known to have the fastest bite in the entire animal kingdom. These ants are no bigger than an inch, but they strike incredible fear in the hearts of their prey. Even a grasshopper is no match against this colony of ants. The trapjaw ants keep their jaws at a 180-degree angle when they are about to strike.
I really hope they take this cockroach, because if these girls don't accept these tiny Blatta lateratus nymphs, then chances are they won't accept any of the other prey insect items I try feeding them.
Once they get the chance, they lunge at the prey at such blinding speeds that you probably won't see it at first glance. A single bite usually leaves the prey wound. Then comes the time to subdue the prey. The ants pull out their stingers and inject the venom inside the unlucky victim. The poor guy lies there helpless while the ant feasts on its next meal. Usually the ant hunts and kills its victims alone, but there are times when it needs help, and it is often when it is a bigger prey at hand. Number 15, the jack jumper ants. These ants are no more than a third of an inch, but they pack up many superpowers in their tiny body. The jack jumper ants can leap to a distance of 4 inches to pull off a surprise attack on the prey. Once they have a hold on it, they will release the venom that gets the job done.
Still, the jumping jacks attack. Mandibles slash the spider. A blister of green blood swells from a gash in the abdomen.
But sometimes, the prey is much bigger than the ants. That doesn't scare the predator though. It will drag the moving prey all the way back to the colony if it has to, but it won't let this meal slip away. Take a look at this spider. It came to find prey and got ambushed by the jack jumper instead. A single ant managed to slow down the spider. It tried to fight back, but the sly ant slipped away and gave a call to its army. The colony of ants swarmed the spider, biting and stinging, leaving no room for the spider to leave. In the end, even the spider fell victim to these ferocious ants. They were later spotted taking their meal away. Number 16, red velvet ants. Although these insects are called red velvet ants, they are not ants. They are wasps, but that doesn't make them any less deadly. The red velvet ants are known to carry the biggest stinger among wasps, and it is filled with venom. They have a number of defense tricks up their sleeves apart from the stinger. They will either release a smelly pheromone or use their bodies to make loud warning sounds. Both of these tactics manage to keep the predator at bay. Check out this spider that saw the mighty stinger and decided to give up on the battle. Number 17, the frightening Bombardier beetle. The Bombardier beetle has a ticking time bomb set inside its body, and it is the animal's biggest weapon. This beetle likes to eat ants. It is often spotted trying to raid the colony and grabbing whatever unlucky ant in its mouth, but the beetle is almost always on the run.
He keeps these ingredients separate inside his body. From an evolutionary standpoint, in fact, people have been scratching their heads over this for decades.
Because of the predators lurking nearby. Sometimes they get to the insect, but other times the Bombardier beetle throws a hot burning acid right at them. What's fascinating is that this beetle can aim too. It sets up the animal in the perfect trap and then bombs it with this tiny acid explosion. The stinging acid is enough to send the prey running in the opposite direction. Number 18, the tiny antlion. The antlion is probably the most wild predator out there. What's creepy is that it goes on a killing spree at a very young age. This is the antlion's larva that digs up a small funnel-shaped hole in the sand. Once the trap is all set, the antlion buries itself quietly waiting for prey to come.
Underground, the antlion sheds its skin as it grows, molting into a larger, more advanced larval stage. In its last larval stage, the antlion will encase itself in a cocoon made of silk and sand, where it becomes a pupa. After weeks in this cocoon, a winged adult will burrow its way out.
Eventually, someone does, and they rarely get out of there alive. Even ants become victims to this terrifying trap, and no amount of struggle saves them from the fury of the antlion. The predator grabs the prey, shoots a venom into its body, and slurps away the insides of the prey. All that's left is an empty shell of a corpse, but the antlion doesn't like making its lair dirty. So what does it do? It flings the dead bodies out of the trap and away. Number 19, the murder hornets. The giant hornets are the biggest wasps in the world, but more than that, they are awfully ferocious. They carry a stinger that is about 1/4 of an inch. It releases a special toxin that can paralyze the prey and even kill humans. Their favorite prey are the honey. You'll often find them on the hunt for bees, like this hornet who had sneaked into the hive.
30 to 50 people in Asia die from these hornets. In the US, 60 to 80 people die from allergic reactions to various wasps and bees. But somehow,
once it is satisfied that there are enough bees for everyone, it calls the other. Within seconds, an army of murderous hornets raid the hive and go on a killing spree. It doesn't even matter that they are small in number because the bees have no chance to escape. A single hornet can kill as many as 300 bees in a single hour. It is a massacre that decimates the entire colony in a few hours. Number 20, the black widow spider. The black widow spider is not one to mess with. They are known to poison humans too. These spiders create a sticky web close to the ground. Once a prey stumbles upon the web, the vibrations of its movements alert the spider. The predator lunges onto the prey in one swift move.
As you can see, part of the ritual is leaving part of himself inside the female. That's how much he wants it. He's willing to donate a body part.
And injects it with a powerful venom. This poison is 15 times more toxic than that of a rattlesnake venom. It leaves the prey paralyzed. Once it is under control, the spider releases a few enzymes that turn its insides into liquid. Like a smoothie, the spider gobbles up the prey inside out. Number 21, the furry puss caterpillar. This is the furry puss caterpillar, and it is only adorable from a distance. Up close, it is a ferocious animal with hidden venomous spine. Under this fuzzy layer of hair, there is a set of bristles packed with toxin.
These insects are the caterpillar stage of the flannel moth, and their bites.
If anybody gets too close to the caterpillar, it releases the poison into the skin of the intruder without them knowing. Within minutes, there is a burning sensation that travels all over the wounded area. If a human even touches the hair, they will be in pain for hours. Number 22, the carnivorous caterpillar. Most of the caterpillars are vegetarians, but not these ones from Hawaii. God knows what made them turn into insects, but they have surely managed to excel at that.
Mostly flies, small spiders, small insects, and even other caterpillars.
The sly caterpillars hide themselves among twigs and leaves. When an unlucky insect stumbles too close to them, the caterpillars come out of the dark and pounce at the insect in a single claw-type motion. The insects never see it coming. That's all, folks. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button and hit subscribe. Which of these insects left you gaping in shock? Have you ever spotted any of these insects live? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.